Hi, Jonathan. This is just my first run through with these slides, just to give a sense of how we're going for time. We'll introduce ourselves, and as part of that, we'll just talk a little bit about the overview, which is an introduction to why we are doing this project. We're going to look at the barriers from stage one. It should be a report on the project, and the second and the fourth, and then we'll look at the 4 questions to assist with overcoming these barriers. This image comes from a report that the National Mental Health Commission put together in 2014 when they were actually reviewing services, and there was a strong recommendation that came out then that both consumers and carers should be actively involved in designing services. We're really lucky that the New South Wales Mental Health Commission, and I remember back, I did a presentation at the Canberra conference when I was quite bluntly told by the Centre for Mental Health that pigs would fly backwards before we'd actually have a Mental Health Commission in New South Wales. I had great joy of actually creating a little presentation with pigs flying backwards when Humphreys actually announced that back in 2008 after the election. And you know, it's worthwhile just reflecting and just reading that that information on there, that we're not here by mistake. It's been a well orchestrated plan that a lot of us have actually been involved in. This will then allow you to talk about the different barriers, and for me, it's around how do we address these on the right hand side here. And especially those 131 people that are actually currently in the network. We know there's never going to be enough paid position for everybody to get a paid job. And then you get down here where people are, feeling like they're not heard, etc., etc. That's where you do that talking at the beginning, and then I come in, and this is one of my favourite quotes. And I first found this back in '99. When I was working down in Greater Murray, and it's one of those things that I just know from understanding quality improvement. You've got to actually have some, you've got to actually have some data, and that's part of the reason why I created the Compass of Participation. It was a forum I did called Dare to Care, and the DARE stands for Developing Alternative Recovery Experiences. To care, and we know there's 2 different types of care. One is it's the care that's often displayed in some of the mental health systems there to cover arse and retain employment, where we want to actually make sure that people are creating alternative recovery experiences. Why do we need it? How does it fit in? These next couple of slides shows that there's actually 4 sectors in the compass: community managed services, public and private mental health systems, forensic systems. And I created this image that actually brings it all together. In the community quadrant, I started to identify like a range of services that people can access, but I often wonder how consistent the message is through all those, and how many of them actually include mental health care in New South Wales on the list. In the NGO quadrant, we actually have the opportunity through being involved with the Mental Health Coordinating Council. I believe it's some 400 organisations. I just wonder how many carers are actually involved. But with the hospital quadrant, we already have made really good connections with the 2 networks. One is the Mental Health Carers and Support Workers Forum, and the other one is the CES Advisory Committee. And I just wonder how we're going to use that information to engage people on the members registry. We have a great forum organised for next Monday, 28th of June, where we'll have lots of information about the forensic system. to conclude, this is a quote from Brian Haseman. He'd done an assessment on the project, and you know, it says MHC and its associated carers are to be congratulated. That actually then leads us on to the 4 questions that we're going to talk about. And what I'd be getting you to do is to actually tell people how we're going to actually do those 4 questions and give feedback.